Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm Jake Denger, your host, and I'm pleased to be joined by Tim Kerley today. He's our guest. He's a Gator, and he's from North Carolina. Just recently joined the Gator program in June. So just getting started, and we're excited to find out a little bit more about Tim and the Gator program. So, Tim, welcome.
Thanks, Jake. Glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you today. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and maybe your real estate journey and how you got to the Gator program?
Okay. I am a former truck driver. I used to drive, tractor trailer trucks. And that kind of got old. That's kind of no kind of life for family guy. I've got a wife and two young boys. They're now 10 and 15.
Oh, yeah.
And, I wasn't an over-the-road driver where I was gone weeks at a time, but I may as well have been because, I had to drive at night. So driving the night shift and sleeping during the day, I may as well have been over the road.
Yeah, for sure.
So, there's a lot you miss doing that. And, driving a truck, it's not that I, don't like driving. It's just I don't like doing it at night and missing everything. So I got into I got into the fitness industry, became a certified personal trainer, and I was doing that, teaching classes, yoga and other exercises. And then 2020 happened, and nobody likes talking about that, but that kind of put me out of business.
Right.
So I ended up at the gym I was working at. I just ended up working the desk because I could never get my clientele built back up, because it was a small town gym in a little podunk town, and it wasn't like Planet Fitness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where people are going to come and the people are going to take the classes. It was just a little bitty gym in a little bitty mountain town, and the people just didn't start coming back like I had hoped. I ended up just working the desk, which got old quick, and then I started following Pace Morby with his Sub 2 program. Now, I never did join Sub 2 because of my lack of liquidity, but I did continue to follow him. And then when he started the Gator program, which is at a lower price point, I was like, well, I can do that. And I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. And I've been, I've been doing that ever since this past June for the last few months.
Awesome. Yeah. So I love fitness. I like to do it on the side, but I can imagine that COVID really hurt that industry pretty hard. So
yeah, it really did.
So why the jump to real estate though? Why not something else? Is there anything particular that you were looking for in real estate?
Well, the thing is, when 2020 happened, I realized that I wanted to do something that gave me power over my own future. Because I didn't want any other person or any other kind of like condition or thing that happened or anything like that to dictate, number one, how much money I can make, number two, whether I'm even working or not, or, I just wanted more power over my own future, my destiny. And that's why I started looking into real estate. And, when Pace came out with the Gator method, I was just like all in on it. I was like, that's what I want to do. And here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are some of the same reasons that drove me. I joined or started investing a year ago, and really it was those same reasons: financial independence and being able to have control over my life, and control over my income, control over, how many hours I want to work a day, and to be able to have more time spent with my family. So I think we very similar in our reasons as to why we decided to join real estate. But
Yeah. I find that to be kind of a common thread between entrepreneurs and, people in real estate, or any kind of entrepreneur, anybody that, tries anything to bust out of the, 9 to 5 W-2 type
mhm.
deal, is, something happens, or, they just get sick and tired of the rat race, and they just want to grab that control back of their life.
Yep, absolutely. Um, and and obviously there's still work to do, right? But it's you get to dictate how much you want to do and when you want to
Exactly.
do it, and the sky's the limit for your income. However much you want to put into is what you can get out of it. So why a Gator versus sub two? Maybe tell us a little bit of the difference. I mean, you said obviously the price point was one of the reasons, but maybe what are some of the other differences between the Gator program, sub two program, and why the Gator program was a little bit better fit for you?
Well, the number one thing was the price point. I'll just be honest with you, because I
Yeah.
wanted to, join Sub 2 ever since I first saw Pace's videos. But it was that price point that kind of held me back. I never could get, the $8,000 together or whatever,
Mhm.
and now I know people have told me that there's a payment plan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that would have been good
Right.
to know. But but I'm also a believer in everything happens for a reason. So I was able to pull the trigger on Gator, and I'm working right now. I've had some things happen over the past couple months, and I kind of feel like I'm starting over. But now I'm definitely hitting the ground running, trying to find deals, learning all I can, and putting in the legwork to land my first deal and make some money. Um, and I'm still very interested in Sub 2, and I do plan on getting into the Sub 2 program once I get rolling and build some capital up. I'm definitely going to make that investment, and start building my own portfolio and all of that.
Awesome. So what does the Gator program entail, and how has it been so far? What have you learned? Um, any big takeaways that have really stood out to you as you first joined this program?
Yeah, one of the most appealing things about the Gator program to me, aside from the price point, that when I got in, it was $3,000 to get in,
Okay.
and Pace has since, you can still join like the basic Gator for $3,000, but then he separated it into like the basic, and then there's the elite, which I got in just under the wire on that. So I was grandfathered into the elite program,
Nice.
and the elite part has special Zooms for training, and calling. Um, it's training on calling uh, uh, transaction companies and closing attorneys, uh, how to talk to them, what questions to ask, how to feel, whether or not you even want to do business with some companies, because some transaction coordinators companies, they don't even fool with wholesalers or people who, do EMD and stuff. And some are all about it. So you just kind of have to fill that out and, build those relationships with the ones who, are willing to do business with you and do business with wholesalers and investors. So, there's all kinds of, added Zooms. There's 3 Zooms a week with a guy named Jake Villaray. I think you might maybe know him, being a part of Sub 2. He does 3 Zooms a week doing that, calling transaction coordinator companies and closing attorneys. And then there's, additional Zooms with other people who are in the Gator community and the Sub 2 community. So there's lots of training. And that's kind of not to poo-poo on the basic Gator, because there's a lot of information in there. If you just, if that's all you can do, don't feel bad. Get in, because the entire community is dedicated to helping one another. It's a collaboration, not a competition. And I have never seen in my life. Now I know the Sub 2 community is top notch and excellent and all of that. And but the Gator community, all you got to do is get on the Facebook group, type in a question, and before long you've got like a list of people, helping you out. Yeah. And just be like, oh, I need, or I don't understand, or whatever, fill in the blank, and then your comment box will fill up with people trying to help. And it's just I've never seen any community that is so dedicated to helping one another. It's definitely like a family feel. And it's just there's no I mean, you get in other groups and there's backbiting and there's competition and there's people get spiteful and this and that. There's none of that junk in the Gator community. And I'm sure there's none of that in the Sub 2 community also. So
I tell you what, that's what Pace does really, really well. Man, he's built some fantastic communities. The Sub 2 community is awesome. All the same things that you're describing, where if you have a question like, hey, I'm stuck in this transaction, what do I do? And you put that out there in the group, and man, everybody's just Pace calls it go giver, right? Where everybody's just willing to share and add value to each other and help each other out. And for me, that's the value of the mentorship, right? Sure, there's all the content that you learn, everything, but it's those connections with everybody, and everybody just willing to jump in and help out. So he does a great job really building those
he's built at least 2 awesome communities that I know of.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, maybe define for those out there that don't really know what a Gator is. What is a Gator? What do you do? How can you help somebody? Or add value to somebody who's trying to purchase a property or trying to build their portfolios. So how does a regular investor work with a Gator, and how does it add value to their business?
Okay, so what we do as Gators is for anybody who's a wholesaler or investor. What we do is we help find. Now I've got to be very careful with my wordage here, but we help with earnest money deposits and double closings, and what we do is we JV with the wholesaler or investor to help them find funding, because as you probably know, or any wholesaler, if you got X amount of deals, and each one of them have, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 earnest money, and you've got all that earnest money tied up in X amount of deals. Let's just say 10 deals, and each one of them, requires between 1,000 and 5,000 or more of earnest money. It won't take long for a lot of people to get all their money tied up. But then you have more deals coming in, and let's just say I'm a wholesaler and I've got all my money tied up in EMD, and I've got 2 or 3 more deals I could work, but I don't have any more money for earnest money. What do? Enter the Gator. I can JV with a wholesaler or a real estate investor to help them find funding for that EMD and help them close more deals.
What does a typical rate look like? Or let's say you are borrowing them $1,000 to $5,000 per earnest money deposit. What kind of return does that look like for you, and the timing of that?
As far as returns, Pace harps on don't get caught up on rates. Because what we do is a very important service. And on average, we like to, let's just say if I help somebody find $5,000 to help them close a deal, we on average like to get that $5,000 back, plus another 5,000 or, 1,000, we like to basically double our money. However, everything's on a, deal by deal basis. So, if it turns out that, doubling $5,000 would cut out any profit for the wholesaler, there goes your motivation, right? So it's on a deal by deal basis, and, nothing's written in stone. We can adjust things wherever it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're, I guess, just negotiating that with the investor, at the front as you go along. Now, you keep talking about JVs. Are you like signing JV contracts on each deal with each investor, or what does that look like?
Yeah. What we do is we enter into a joint venture with the investor or wholesaler, and that can look like, and what that can look like is a strict return, like I mentioned before, on the money that I've invested in getting that deal closed. Or we can look at maybe doing some kind of equity in the deal where, I would end up having a percentage of the deal rather than getting like a flat return on my money. So, there's that, that would end up being an additional income stream. Say if I loaned an investor, or I won't say loan, but I JV'd with an investor to close a deal on a property, a rental property or a Airbnb, and I would let's just say own 5% of that deal, and then that would be my return, 5% on the whatever they make on that deal, until such a time as they either buy me out, or they just let it ride forever, which is fine with me.
So do you have a preference of what you're looking for? are you looking to be more of an equity partner, or are you looking more for return on your cash? Are you open to both? What's your preference?
I'm actually open to both, because I'm not one to turn down money. But yeah, I'm definitely open to both. I'm willing to, take a percentage of a deal or a, direct return on my money. It just really doesn't matter to me, because one, you're looking at a direct return on your money. That's a one shot. You get that return, you got to go find another deal to get into.
Yeah.
But if you own a piece of equity, that's, residual passive income coming in every month that you only had to work one time for. So, that's appealing too.
Right. No, that's I'm actually working with a Gator and in the Houston area, and we're trying to do some flips, and the way we're structuring it is so that they share in the profit on the deal, and so I think that makes sense. You could do it that way too. So,
Mhm.
um, what type of investors are you looking to connect with?
Right now, I'm looking for wholesalers,
Okay.
of all kinds, whether you're just starting out or if you're a seasoned wholesaler. Um, I'm looking for people with integrity who do business the right way, because the wholesaling industry uh, kind of there are some people who have given
A bad
wholesalers
name
a
to it
bad
for
rep.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're fighting hard to overcome that. And I have my personal integrity, and I like to work with people who also have similar integrity in their business, and they're not a fly by night, seat of your pants type individual.
Awesome. So, are you limited to specific markets, or as a Gator, are you open to anywhere?
I'm open to anywhere, as far as helping people with EMD and that type of thing. I'm located, and my LLC is in North Carolina, so there's that. And so if somebody had something that they wanted to do, like a uh, percentage, I would have to do an LLC in whatever state, open up, but that's just a matter of paperwork. But right now I'm starting out in North Carolina, and I'm going to spread out from there, and do whatever I need to help service whoever needs me. So
Gotcha. Awesome. So, how do investors get a hold of you? What's the best way to contact you?
my phone number is 828-284-7546. Feel free to call or text. If I happen not to answer, please leave a message. Um, and I'm also right now, I'm working on a Calendly link, and I'll have that available today. So, shoot me a text, and I will send you my Calendly link, and we can schedule a time to speak, and we can see if it's, see if we're a good fit to work together.
Awesome. So, I'll drop that information in below on the video so that people can have that and get a hold of you. Is there any parting information you want to share with our listeners today, or our viewers today, before we take off, that we haven't covered yet?
Not that I can think of, but I will say, if you have heard of the Gator or the Sub 2, and you're wanting to make a change in your life and gain control of your financial future, and not be under the thumb of a corporation, or a dickhead boss, or whatever, don't be on the fence about that decision. Go ahead, pull the trigger, and take control of your life today, if you can at all, because I'm willing to help people. I'm not going to pay for anybody's membership or anything, but I'm willing to help as much as I can. Anybody who wants to, make a change in their life and take control of all that. And I think, I would like to say I speak for, a lot of Gators and a lot of Sub 2 students as well. that, this is not competition, it's collaboration. And, we're all in it to see other people win too.
Yeah.
So it's, and that's the only thing I would add.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm sure Pace appreciates the plug there, right? No, I would echo that as well. That I'm in the sub 2 program, and man, it's been fantastic, and the community is just awesome, and definitely if you're thinking about it, it's well worth it. So join and connect and network with the people in the group, and of course there's a lot of amazing content in there as well. So well, Tim, it's been great having you on the show today. And
absolutely, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for everything.
Okay, and again, listeners, if you want to get a hold of Tim, that his information will be below. And I encourage you to reach out to him, use him, help him grow his business, and of course, he can help you grow yours by getting the funding you need to expand your portfolio. So thank you again, and subscribe and share this video. Take care.
Jake. Have a great day.